guys, welcome back to the SUPES channel. My name is Matt Ramos, and on this channel I am to entertain, inform, and inspire using the topic of discussion as always, which is superheroes. So guys, a ton of Marvel news has been dropping lately. Yesterday, Kevin Feige literally sat down and he gave out a ton of interviews to a ton of different news outlets, and he was dropping bombs left and right regarding the future of Marvel. And then today, a ton of other Marvel related news has been dropping as well. So I'm here to break it all down in today's video. Today's gonna be like the end game of my videos, and that I'm just gonna combine a ton of different things that I could literally individually make videos on and just combine it all in today's video and give you guys the big rundown. But right before I do that, guys, make sure to hit that bell notification on my channel to get notified when videos like this go up in order to stay updated with the future of Marvel. Now, without further ado, let's break down all of the superhero news that has dropped within the past couple of days. So guys, yesterday the president of Marvel, Kevin Feige, decided to sit down and have like a little media day. He literally just sat down and was doing interviews with a ton of different news outlets talking about the future of Marvel as well as WandaVision, which premieres this Friday. Now, a reporter in particularly asked him about Deadpool 3. What's happening with Deadpool 3? Can we get some more info on Deadpool 3? And that's exactly what he did. He gave us some more info on Deadpool 3. So just to give you guys the rundown, Kevin Feige stated and confirmed that Deadpool 3 will be rated R and it will be set within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right now, as we speak, Ryan Reynolds is overseeing the writing of the script for the film, and Kevin said that they aren't going to shoot it this year, so it's going to be a while until we see Deadpool 3, but that is in active development and it's going to get done. And if I had to predict, we'll probably get it in like 2023, maybe 2024, but yeah, it's good to hear that they're developing Deadpool 3. The train is moving, and someday we'll get to that finish line where we can see Deadpool 3. But the main thing was that the two main things out of this interview was, one, Deadpool 3 is gonna be rated R. So once Disney bought Fox and that whole merger happened where Marvel got all of the rights back to Deadpool, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, a ton of people were questioning, how are they gonna do Deadpool if he's actually in the MCU? There's no way they do him rated R. Because, you can't have him in the universe with all these awesome characters that we're accustomed to seeing, and he's like cursing, he's being his regular self. Because Deadpool in his regular self is rated R. But we're getting the best of both worlds. We're getting exactly what we wanted. We're getting Deadpool in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with all of the other heroes. And, sometime in the future, we're going to see him interact with these other heroes. But in his individual movies, they are going to be rated R. They are going to stay true to the character and do justice to him there. And I feel like this was always the game plan. Like, there's no way to really truly do Deadpool justice if he's not rated R. And Kevin Feige understands that. He's one of the biggest nerds on the planet, and if there's anyone that does characters justice, it's him. So Kevin Feige confirmed that Deadpool is going to be rated R and it's going to be set within the MCU, which is exactly what we all wanted. Now, he also decided to talk a little bit about the X-Men. No crazy big details, but he said that the talks about introducing the X-Men have been long. They have been talking about this for a long time, and it is an active development. Not an X-Men movie. He wasn't referring to an X-Men movie, but he was just talking about introducing the X-Men to the MCU. Whether it's leaving clues or hints in other projects or movies, Marvel has been talking about this for a long time, and I have no doubt in my mind that they're gonna do the X-Men justice, and they're going to build to the mutants in a very surprising way. Just the best way that we could possibly fathom, they're gonna do that. Now, this is probably the biggest piece of news regarding the Marvel Disney Plus shows from the Kevin Feige interviews. Kevin Feige was coming off of talking about WandaVision, and then he started to talk about the other Disney Plus shows, the lengths, and the amount of episodes each of these shows is gonna contain. Before we get into that, Kevin also said that these Marvel Disney Plus shows, some shows are being mapped out to have multiple seasons, whereas other shows are just going to be one-offs. One season to set up something bigger that'll be addressed in the movies, and then that's it. Whereas we know that something like the Loki show is gonna have a season 2. So it's super interesting to see the way Marvel's handling Disney Plus and the way they're managing these series, because Marvel's going to have some series that are just one-offs. It's just one season and it sets up something major. Whereas other shows are going to have multiple seasons, and each season is going to set up another season. It's gonna build like an actual regular TV show. So in this interview, Kevin decided to actually give us the links for the upcoming Marvel Disney Plus shows, including WandaVision, She-Hulk, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So the episode lengths and the amount of episodes in the season for WandaVision, it's going to range from 20 to 35 minutes each episode, with there being 9 episodes in the season. For Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's a completely different approach. Each episode will range from 40 to 50 minutes, with the entire season having 6 episodes. And then for She-Hulk, each episode will be 30 minutes, and there's going to be 10 episodes in the first season of She-Hulk. So again, going back to what I said earlier, it's super interesting to see how Marvel is handling these Disney Plus shows, because it seems like they're handling each one very differently. They understand that each show is their own thing, and they're just gonna let each show be their own thing. You know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we're all looking forward to that. Those episodes are going to be 40 to 50 minutes long, with there being 6 episodes in the entire season. Whereas for something like WandaVision and She-Hulk, there's going to be more episodes in the season, 9 to 10 episodes in each show, but the episodes are going to be 20 to 30 minutes long. So it's super interesting, but you know, for me, hearing that each WandaVision episode and each She-Hulk episode is going to be only 30 minutes long, for us to wait an entire week for 30 minutes, these episodes better be mind-boggling, blowing us out of our seats, because I feel like, you know, to wait an entire week for 30 minutes, the content must be amazing, and I trust in Marvel that the content will be amazing, where it'll leave us on the edge of our seats and it'll actually satisfy our palates. You know, when for a couple of us that were watching The Mandalorian, there was a couple of filler episodes in each season, and those episodes, you know, some episodes were like 30 minutes long, and we'd watch the episodes and we would be like, damn, like I have to wait another week for like this, like some episodes in The Mandalorian didn't satisfy our palates because they were so short. So what I'm saying is that now for the Marvel Disney Plus shows, I hope and pray that each episode, for the shorter episode lengths, I hope they really just leave us waiting on the edge of our seats. They really just satisfy us, and you know, kind of just like get the job done. You know, it's a lot easier to satisfy our palates when each episode is 40 to 50 minutes long for like something like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But when you're looking at WandaVision and we're each waiting a week for only 30 minutes of new content, that new content better be amazing. But now moving past the information we got from the Kevin Feige interviews, some more news dropped regarding Black Widow. So it seems that Disney is now considering to release Black Widow in May, but to do something like what they did with Wonder Woman 1984 over there at Warner Brothers, which is to release Black Widow in theaters while also releasing it on Disney Plus. This is something that I think Disney should definitely do, because again, I really want Black Widow to be successful, but I also think we should have the opportunity to watch this film in theaters. And if for those of you who don't feel as safe to go to watch and experience it in the theaters, you have that option to watch it over at Disney Plus. And I feel like that's the best way that Black Widow is going to be able to make the most money. This movie is unfortunately going to suffer financially because of the pandemic. It's going to suffer regardless, whether it's, I don't know, just people not showing up in theaters or them not getting the amount of viewers they want to watch it on Disney Plus. Regardless, this movie is going to suffer from a pandemic. But in order for this movie to be as successful as it can be, I feel like the best way for Disney to do that is to release it in theaters and then to also release it on Disney Plus. And to have that medium for people who aren't scared to go out and watch it in a theater, and then for those who feel more comfortable watching it in the courtesy of their living room. Plus, if Disney releases Black Widow on Disney Plus, then we're doing a watch party over here on the SUPES channel, and having a watch party for a Marvel movie, that would be insane. So hopefully Disney actually makes that move, and again, instead of fully committing to the theaters, which we know they're going to do with Shang-Chi, Eternals, all of their other Marvel movies coming out for the rest of the year, maybe for Black Widow, just test the waters, try something new, and release it on Disney Plus and release it in theaters. But you know, that news dropped that Disney is considering this. They aren't fully confident of Black Widow releasing in May in theaters, so I feel like they would definitely make this move. Now moving on over to other Marvel content that isn't particularly the MCU, or maybe it is, but right now we're going to talk about Morbius and Venom 2. I bring bad news with Morbius. Morbius has gotten delayed. Morbius was originally coming out in March, now it's coming out October 8th, 2021. So it's a bummer because I was really looking forward to Morbius. A lot of us are, and especially after that first trailer, which featured Michael Keaton's Vulture at the end of it. We're all looking forward to Morbius, but at the same time, because it's coming out in October, I feel like Halloween really fits and suits the Morbius movie, because Morbius is literally the living vampire. So I feel like Halloween and that October release date suits the movie a lot more. But again, because we're gonna have to wait longer, this is bad news. And now regarding Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage, which is something we're all hyped for. Unlike Morbius, Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage is staying true to its June release date, and we're actually getting a trailer for it. Now we know when the first trailer for Venom 2 is coming out, and it's coming out during the Super Bowl. A little teaser got leaked, kind of announcing that the first trailer will drop during the Super Bowl. And again, it makes sense. The movie comes out in June. We still haven't gotten our first look at the movie. If they're really committing to that June release date, then it would make sense for them to give us our first look, because the movie comes out in 6 months. So it would make sense for them to give us at least a teaser trailer, something to give us our first look at Venom 2, which does come out in 6 months. And what bigger stage than the Super Bowl? It just makes so much sense. I think at the Super Bowl, Marvel will also drop the first trailer for Shang-Chi, because that comes out in July. We haven't gotten our first look at that. So it would make sense on the biggest stage of the year for Marvel and Sony to take that opportunity to give people their first look at some of their upcoming projects. Now, these final 2 pieces of news that I'm going to cover are rumors. They are not 100% confirmed, but they also are being reported from sources that I personally trust and have served me well in the past. The first rumor that I want to address is coming from Daniel Richmond, Daniel RPK, and he dropped a huge bomb over there on his Patreon saying that Scarlet Witch and Iron Man are going to have cameos in Spider-Man 3. And Daniel has been right so many times in the past in reporting new information about upcoming Marvel movies, DC movies as well. And he's been right so many times in the past that every single time he reports something, I kind of genuinely, I trust him. I trust him. He's a source that I genuinely trust. So Scarlet Witch and Iron Man having a cameo in Spider-Man 3, this is something that's extremely interesting. And once I heard Scarlet Witch and Spider-Man 3, I feel like that makes perfect sense, because WandaVision sets up Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and we know Wanda is going to be teaming up with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Spider-Man 3 is kind of like the middle ground between WandaVision and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So we already know Doctor Strange is going to be in Spider-Man 3, so it would only make sense for Wanda to also be in Spider-Man 3. And again, not to necessarily have a role in the movie, but to have a small cameo to show that she's around when all of this is going down, and she's gonna deal with that in the Multiverse of Madness. But now when it comes to Iron Man being in Spider-Man 3, again, this would obviously be either a flashback, or it would be tied to another Marvel project that they have coming up, which is Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion follows the story of the Skrulls infiltrating Earth, and we know that they're going to pose as some fake Marvel characters. And it would be very interesting to see Marvel bring back Tony Stark as a Skrull. That would be wild. But having Tony Stark being in Spider-Man 3, I feel like they wouldn't do that. I'm leaning more to like either a flashback or a hologram, something. Because we know Peter's suit is still made out of Tony Stark's tech. So maybe Tony uploaded a hologram or an AI, something. I feel like we'll get something regarding Tony Stark, just because he's been so integral to the character of Spider-Man in the MCU. And with Spider-Man 3 being an endgame level movie, I feel like with Tony being kind of Peter's mentor and father figure in the MCU, I feel like it definitely makes sense to have him tie into all of this, because Marvel literally took Uncle Ben and kicked him to the curb and replaced him with Tony Stark. So again, this is all coming from Daniel Richmond. Scarlet Witch and Tony Stark in Spider-Man 3. Again, not confirmed, but it's definitely an interesting theory to entertain, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. And the final piece of news that I'm going to break down today is, again, a rumor, nothing confirmed, but I do trust this source, and this is coming from the people over at the Popcorn Planet, Andy Signor. I hopped on his channel a while back to talk and debate about Star Wars, but he's reporting that Doctor Doom is set to make his MCU debut in Black Panther 2. When Andy drops scoops like this, I trust him. He dropped the scoop on Spider-Man 3 months before any news regarding Spider-Man 3 and all of the rumors and kind of like confirmations regarding Jamie Foxx's Electro, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock. And we've heard a ton of other rumors that haven't been confirmed, but Andy has been talking about this before anyone has. So now he's reporting that Doctor Doom is set to make his MCU debut in Black Panther 2. We've heard these rumors for a while now, and again, it makes sense. Doctor Doom is the ruler of Latveria, and with Black Panther being kind of like not necessarily a political movie, but it's a movie that represents a country in itself, Wakanda. And we know that in Black Panther 2, Wakanda is going to be going up against something or someone, whether it's Latveria or whether it's, you know, Atlantis potentially. We've heard so many rumors about Namor being the potential villain of Black Panther 2 with Atlantis and Wakanda going to war. That would be awesome to see. But again, Doctor Doom making his MCU debut in Black Panther 2, that would be wild. And you guys know how much I love Doctor Doom. I think he's one of the biggest villains that Marvel has at their disposal, and he could certainly be the next Thanos level villain, because Doctor Doom is one of those villains that hasn't been done right on the big screen. He's not just a Fantastic Four villain. He is an entire universe that has to come together kind of villain. So having him make his debut in Black Panther 2, it's certainly something that's very interesting. I don't think if he were to make his debut in Black Panther 2, I don't think he would be the villain of Black Panther 2. I think we would just see him mentioned in like a post-credit scene, or maybe verbally when Wakanda's talking about all of the different countries, rival countries that they have. So again, having him make his debut in Black Panther 2, it kind of makes sense if Marvel is trying to integrate all their Fox properties slowly but surely, and Black Panther 2 isn't coming out for a while. So again, it's something that's very interesting. It gets me more excited for Black Panther 2, knowing that Doctor Doom could potentially be involved. So guys, with that being said, we broke down so much Marvel news in today's video. If you aren't subscribed, catch that subscribe button and hit that notification on my channel to get notified when videos like this drop on my channel, in order for you to stay informed about all the awesome things going down with all of Marvel's upcoming projects. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.